Hey, how's it going? My name is Coach Grant Chasson. I am a mental performance coach. And in this video, I want to talk to you about athlete aura. Now, when I think about athlete aura, this should be a goal that every athlete should look to attain and not the way that you think. So stick around. I'm going to show you exactly the 3 ways that I would build aura right now. So if you don't know me, again, my name is Grant Chasson. I'm a Division I quarterback. Formerly, my career basically looked like this: red shirt, some playing time, retired. So from there, I became motivated, obsessed with psychology, became a teacher and a practitioner of psych. And now I have a master's in sports psychology and I'm a certified mental performance coach. So as a coach, I've been a high school football offensive coordinator. We had 2 state championship appearances, unbelievable runs, unbelievable time. That was over the course of 7 years. In terms of mental performance, I love mindset and performance. But that's really just fancy talk for sports psychology, right? The sports psychologists are people who do the research to figure out how to make you better as an athlete. So, real quick, what I get into as well with one-to-one athlete coaching: resilience, confidence, discipline, motivation, fulfillment. Avoid up ending like me and end on your own peaceful terms and just ride off into the sunset, right? So back to aura. Locker Room Power is a book that my good friend Coach David Samel had written. And basically, it's before you step out onto the arena, onto the court, into the field, and from the dugout, someone's presence in that locker room is felt before they even say a word, right? So you can't explain it, but you feel it. And not everyone realizes that aura is not genetics and is not just being gifted. It's really built. It's a system. And like I said in this video, I want to show you how to build it in 3 different pillars. So pillar one, aura is a decision that you make, right? So right away, when I think about the decision, I'm a Louisiana guy. I live an hour from Baton Rouge. So I think about Joe Burrow. And his quote was, "No matter the outcome, I've put in the work and I've done my best." What more can you ask for? And look at this guy. There's no better picture that could be in the dictionary next to the word aura than watching this guy just have the best season, arguably, ever in college football and smoking a cigar with his championship ring, right? So, Joe, the thing about him was he didn't wait for the results to start acting and being confident like this. He put in the work to get him there, right? So, he made a decision right away. He based it on his desire and what he wanted. So, he didn't wait for the results. If you look back, they had a goal over the course of the summer at LSU in 2019 that they were going to catch and throw 10,000 passes over the course of the entire summer. And they did. And it came out the show. So he left Ohio State. He was told he was average, one of the best college seasons ever a couple of years later. But the thing about him is, your body language and the way that you carry yourself doesn't just reflect your mental state. It'll actually be what shapes it. So when you choose to act like you're confident, act like you are the best player in the room, the best athlete on the field, well, guess what? Your brain will start to believe that, and then you start to build it. So you stand tall, move calm, and then your nervous system starts to adjust to it and feel it. So the athlete with aura trained their body to tell their brain that I belong here. I am meant to be here, right? So you made a decision. Your body language reflects it. You have a desire to be this person. So you have a deep understanding and a why. We call that the burn. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I love the saying that the mind is the athlete and the body is the vessel. Pretty cool. Okay. The vessel sets the tone for the mind. So your body language, your focus, and your self talk. Okay. That is what sets the tone for how you work. Okay. Pillar two, aura, surprise, surprise, is fueled by discipline. Okay. It's not grind until you break discipline. Like, it's the quiet kind, the one that nobody sees or talks about. Nobody cares about what you put on social media. Oh, I'm a D1 athlete. I grind all day. I wake up and go to breakfast and then I go play Xbox for 3 hours. You get the idea. But the work that you put in, the work that you do silently behind closed doors, that's what's going to determine if you have that aura or not. Okay. Your performance, what carries over onto the field, is what's going to do the talking. So it's better in terms of discipline to have at least 7, even maybe 6 out of 10 day every single day, as opposed to 10 out of 10 for one day, 8 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10. It's better to be consistent in the same direction with the same level of intensity than, having these spikes in performance, right? Consistency is everything, and find your floor. Find your minimum that you're allowed to do, right? My minimum as a 33-year-old dad and online virtual coach is, if I'm talking about physical activity, I'm going to go for a walk at minimum. There's no way I'm not going to get outside and go for a walk or hop around and do some jump rope and some pull-ups and push-ups, right? It is what it is. So my mentor, Ben Newman, he liked to say we operate to a standard, not to your feelings, right? And this was essentially what got him hired at Alabama. And I love when he told me the story and told all of us the story about, the first thing Nick Saban asked him was, why are we here? What are we going to talk about today? And he said, Coach, I want to talk about standards over feelings. And that statement right there led him to staying with Alabama through 2 national championships. It's incredible. There's been from our coaches to coaches session this year. So if your system and what you're built on depends on motivation, the system's broken, right? So you'll get a quick burst of motivation, but then it's going to fade. Not good. You go back to desire, or what we specifically call in the practice your burn. Like, what is that burning sensation that will just ignite your passion and fuel you to just give relentless effort and have those 10 out of 10 days? So a lot of that's pinned back on dopamine issues as well. There may be times where you feel like you just have no motivations because your brain is just flooded all day. Think about the last time you were waiting in line for something, the second that you knew it would be probably a 5 to 10 minute wait. The first thing you did was reach for your phone and start scrolling. Like, you don't know what it's like to be bored and to have that natural dopamine. So that's a quick fix to help you build motivation, to build discipline. Okay, so a quick actionable tool. I love to use actual tools that you can use, as you can see, but your weekly reset, make sure you have an idea of the 168 hours throughout the week. So when your brain knows what's coming, your brain you give yourself a chance to prepare and to visualize what's to come. Nightly, lay out your clothes for the next morning, set your alarm, decide the first action of the day, and don't go back on it. Okay, go to bed with anticipation for tomorrow, not anxiety. Remember that quick reframe is I get to wake up and train tomorrow instead of I have to wake up and train tomorrow. Simple, simple say. When you lay everything out and get your day ready, you leave the risk of staying in bed completely out the window. I had to do this every day as a teacher, to wake up at 4:30 just to get my prayers and my walks and positive mindset flowing. And of course, that led to being exhausted at night. And that's okay because the sleep was much better. And now, with my burn, with my motivation, what I have, these are my little rascals right here. This is Lucy, Ben, and Anna. Lucy is the fiery one, the oldest, the leader. She's 4. Benjamin just turned 2, and there's our newest addition, baby Anna. And you want to talk about purpose? I wish that every athlete, no matter what age you are, could be a parent, because you'd have free, endless access to motivation whenever you need it, and to have that trigger. Pretty similar to what the Navy SEALs do. Okay, so when the athlete dreads the mornings, it's usually not a sleep problem. It's a purpose problem. So like I said about the SEALs, I mentioned it. They're just built different. Okay, they have a why that's just unexplainable to somebody else. But to them, when they trigger that why, there's just no stopping. There's no going back on it. And that's a lot what we tied in with Ben Newman and what we learned with the burn. But the predictor of the ones that made it through Navy SEAL training was the ones that had the deepest desire to be a Navy SEAL. So if you have the deepest desire to be successful in what you want to be successful in, whether it be in athletics, sports, life, business, then guess what? You need to have the deepest desire, because that will trigger that discipline and motivation to operate to that standard. Certainty, okay? Control, that's what we're looking for in our lives. We want to have control. When there's uncertainty, we don't know how the day's going to go, we don't know what to expect for tomorrow. That's when you start losing control, and then your mind starts to wander, and then things start spiraling. Okay, so when you have control, you can build the discipline, and that leads essentially to your aura. All right, pillar 3, preparation protects your aura. Preparation protects your aura. Okay, positive thinking alone doesn't just work. You can't just say, I'm hoping that I have a great day, and walk outside and plant your feet in the ground and raise your hands up and say, okay, today's going to be an amazing day. It's not how it works. Okay, you got to think negatively, and you got to rehearse failure. And what does it actually mean? So if I was thinking about when I was a quarterback or even as a quarterback coach, I thought about the worst possible cases before a game before I would even start to think about visualizing success, right? What if we're down 7-0 right away? What if I throw an interception on the first play of the game? What if our defense is getting torched and we're getting blown out in the first quarter? What are we going to do to respond? And when you think about these negative things, it allows you to build a system to bounce back from them even quicker. So when something bad happens, it's not like you weren't prepared for it. You know, okay, how do I fix this? What happens? Well, doing that, you know what your routine will be, right? So my response was always, look, just take a deep breath, take a swig of water, and tell myself next series. Okay, next series. So then you have to establish, this is a great tool, the if then protocol, right? So you literally list this out. Don't just think of this in your head. Get a piece of paper and write 3 down. Okay. If then, if I fall behind, I will have the best body language on the team. If I make a mistake, I'll reset with my breath. If something outside of my control goes sideways or isn't panning out, I'm going to refocus on the process with my trigger or my anchor point. Okay, so when you have your if then protocol, you're setting yourself up for success. Again, this is not complicated. It's simple, but who's actually putting in the work to do this? And athletes who do this, they don't spiral. Simple as that. They make a mistake, they're on to the next chapter. All right, they have a pre built response and they trusted it. And then so aura under fire is not the absence of adversity, it's going to happen. It's the presence of preparation. Okay. So what do you do now? Number one, you got to install a weekly reset. 15 minutes, map out the whole week on a Sunday. If your competition's on Sunday, do it after the weekly competition. For football guys that I work with, obviously we map it out on Sunday because they play on Saturday. But my baseball guys, they're playing all the time. Sometimes their reset is on Monday. So they get that 168 in and they attack the week. They run the mental gut check. It's an AI prompt that has 8 area diagnostic. I'll put a link to that in the description. Basically, you just run it into ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever you want to, and it'll diagnose exactly what you need to improve on right away. And then go ahead and write your if-then statements. Okay, pick your next competition, the 3 worst possible case scenarios, and say, "I'll stay positive." If that's even just the simplest plan. I mean, "I'll stay positive" is not a good plan. You should say, if this happens, I will specifically do this. This will happen. Okay. Make sure it's very, very, very personable. So again, aura, not genetics. It's decision backed by discipline, protected by preparation. Carry yourself like the athlete that you're becoming, not the athlete that your last performance or mistake says that you are. And the game's not won in the fourth quarter. It's won when you walk through the door on Monday for your preparation. So if you want the full system and how to use these tools, please click the link in the description for my Fearless 20 mental conditioning drills. You'll get access to it. You'll get a custom prompt to learn how to work it. And if you like it, it feels good, you like where this is going, build some momentum from the drills, you can book a call with me to follow up and connect directly on the actual Fearless 20 drill guide. So if that's interested to you, check it out and I'll see you on the next one.